I must apologise again because the battery went flat again. So I lost you lovely people. Never mind, I'm sorry about that. So now we are actually in to part 3. Now, I made a bit of progress. Now I also use these, which is also a brush pen. Slightly different points on these. These are more like a marker, so you don't quite have the brush effect for the point, but they're quite useful. Now then, what we're going to do here, I think, is we're going to come up here with this red. I think we're going to try it, see what happens. Like so. And all we could do is hope for the best. No, he'll be right. I'm glad you have faith. As you should have. Don't forget to do the whole picture. Now, like I said, this box I'm working inside is only pencil lines at the moment, but I will go round that with a black line when this is finished to get that effect. Now, the advantage of using small pieces of paper is you can move them around to make life easier. I mean, I could do it like I was doing it straight up, but I've found with art, you use the easiest way around to get the desired effect you want. Now, people say to me, I mean, years ago, the old portrait artists used to use grids to get people's features positioned in the right place. And everybody says, oh, I don't like using all these newfangled gadgets. Now I assure you that all the artists, Michelangelo, used the latest thing that was available at that time. And a lot of the portrait artists used to use a wooden frame with string thread through it to make a grid effect. So you'd have string going down and string going across in, I don't know, 2, 3 inch, 4 inch squares. And then you would put that up where you wanted it in front of the subject. And you would grid your piece of canvas or whatever you were working on, wood, because a lot of these old masters painted on wooden panels. Then you would actually do that. And you would actually use the grid. Now, if they had electric light bulbs and things like that in those days, they would have had a light box. And don't you worry, they would have used them, because that's what you do. You use the tools that you have to the level of tools. And now I know some very good craftsmen that actually use old style rope lathes where they've got pedals and strings and ropes and things and pulleys to make a lathe turn. and they go to various events and do displays on how it was all done in the old days. But I assure you that they also would use power lathes as well and tools. I mean, I can remember when I was a child, you went out and you sat in your garden on a Sunday afternoon in the sun, and all you heard was the sound of a push mower. And it was, I don't know, it was something peaceful and restful about an old push mower. But not today. Everything is a power tool. We had a couple of nice days up around here. But to be honest with you couldn't really go and sit outside very much because everybody was out, which is obviously, and we did it as well. With your power lawnmower cutting the grass while you could. Because now look at it, it's raining now. So if you didn't cut your mow your lawn when you could, you've had it, basically. Because that's all, that window is shut. Because I understand it's going to be raining on and off now for a little while. So that's that. So that, I mean, on the upside, that should help keep people indoors, don't you think? Now, this obviously is not going to look like real fire. It's going to give, hopefully, the illusion, or because we're talking about poster work here, really, poster designs. And I dare say, if I'm absolutely honest, and what's the word, a little candid about this, I could have spent, and maybe one day I will, spend some time doing a little video on how to paint and draw fire, because it's a bit tricky. And the reason I'm saying I might do it in the future is I haven't done it for a while, and it's like everything else. You can get what they used to say, ring rusty. And I don't want to come up here and say I'm going to do this and then find out I can't remember how to do it. Because everything is practice, you know. Everything is practice. The more you practice it, the better you get. So if you actually were to do these sorts of drawings on a regular basis and practice and practice and practice, you'd be surprised how good you get at doing them. Especially if you draw the same subject more than once, which, again, is something that I tend to do. Now we're going to try and blend this a bit more with the old blending brush, but I'm not sure if it's going to work or not. Because I don't really like these sharp edges that we've got. But we'll see if we can or not. I don't know. I don't know. And you don't know. Well, if you did, you wouldn't be able to tell me. Well, you could. You could always message me, I suppose. Write a comment saying, "Dear Mr. Maniac, this is how you're supposed to do it." And that would be a big help, actually, if you did. Or you could set your own channel up. Make your own films. And we'd all be happy about that, wouldn't we? Yeah. They used to say, didn't they, those that do, and those that can't teach. Now, I don't know if that's true. I don't really think that's true, if I'm honest. Now, I think what we're going to do here, because this blender is not doing exactly what I wanted it to do, which which is a shame within itself. You might have to try and blend this in with some other colours. That looks like it might be having a desired effect. Because you see, we want sort of the effect of sort of clouds of dust and steam and, you know, basically generally quite a hot place to be. Now, I don't know if I'm going to do a lot more to this side of the picture. I don't think I am. But I might the other side. We might use the white of the paper, like I said, to get what we want. I think so. I think so, don't you? Because that's not too bad an effect. Because what I'm tending to do now, if you're not careful, is blend in the black lines from the outline edges. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to see if we can find a paler yellow, which I think we've got one here. And we're going to see if we can blend that down a bit more in almost like a cloud formation. So we're going to come down like this rather than do the shape that I was doing in the frames, and see if we can get this how we want it, like that. You see, I might even use some pencils on this because we can actually blend them slightly easier probably. It's a long time ago since I've done anything like this. Not that that's any excuse, but we'll see what happens now when we use the blender on that one. Let's put that one back here because I'm getting a bit cluttered up here with these pens. Now, this is the blender one. Yeah, it's the blender, so we want to point the brush again. And we're going to see if we can just blend in these cloudy bits into the white here, like so. I think that's working to some degree, because what we're going to do, you see now, when we do this underneath of this dragon's chin and what have you, will be like the old days when we used to do with the buttercup. We're going to use this sort of yellow to go down these edges. But first of all, what we must do is get our trusted line pencil, I think. No, let's actually use another one of these reds on here a minute. Change the way we've done this a bit. If it will work, I don't know if it will. And tend to sort of try and blend this in a bit more. I don't think it's going to work. It's coming out too dark, too heavy. I think it is. So we might just have to settle for what we've got down here. And do some shapes like that, so it's almost bubbling up. Almost bubbling up. Like so. The other side seems to work quite well. It's just getting this side to blend. I have got another blender somewhere. which I think might be here. Is that the blender? Blender. That's the blender for this. Let's see if this will blend this any better. Because we want to take those edges off. You see, blend it in by degree. This actually is where having several different shades of a particular colour works, because then you can shade it through. And also, like I said to you before, if you've got some of the old keep your old pens and they get very faint, they're quite useful for doing that. Let's see what happens when we add a little bit of pencil, because the paper is textured, so that might help the situation. That looks like something, doesn't it? Now, in fact, maybe we should have done that from the beginning. If you do these circling motions, you'll get the cloud, hopefully, effect that we were going for. You press maybe slightly harder when we get onto the actual red to get the, because you're going to lift to some degree, so with that paint off of there, and it will blend on up into your yellow. But anyway, like I said, I could spend a lot of time here, and I'm spending too much time as it is. So we're going to stop that there for now. And now what we're going to do, we're going to do the lining that I said I was going to do. Let's get a move on. Get a move on, because otherwise we're going to be into video 4. And we're going to do the lines on this sort of armour for the belly of the beast. No, not the whale. Now, like I said, this is almost like tiling a roof, the way you would do this. And if you look, if you've got a minute, at a suit of armour, you'll see, if you go to the joints where you have to move, that they tend to do this sort of overlapping, because there's no point putting on a suit of armour then finding you can't move. Now, on the particular suit of armour that Merlin made for me, that's exactly what he did over the shoulders and arms. Now we're going to do these dots a little bit bigger, because we're going to try and get some little dots of colour in there that'll be different from the rest, just to give it a nice pleasing effect. And of course these plates will come right round to here. Now what we could do in a minute, we could rub these pencil lines out, these guidelines, after we've got more or less what we want. They would have served their purpose, so to speak. So we don't need them there anymore. And if we colour over the top of them with this particular kind of paint on these brush pens, all you're going to do is create a grey smudge, which is not really what we want to do, to be honest with you. Now, these, you see, are like bricks. they would overlap slightly. If you ever watch or look at a brick, they overlap when you put them up. Because if you didn't do that, when you put them up, you'd be in all sorts of trouble because the wall would be very weak and just fall over. So there. That's how I understand it. That was explained to me once by a bricklayer, a friend of mine. He's sadly no longer with us. Lovely man. But he moved on. I dare say I should bump into him again one day. But not at the moment, hopefully. I got a few more pictures I'd like to draw first. There we go. Now, like I said, this is quite a bit of good fun to do for your own lock-in therapy. And I don't think I'm going to do a lot more to this picture because you get the general idea. I will finish it and I will put it on at some point. But I think really what we should do now is have a break, have a cup of tea. And I'll push the picture up so you can see the whole picture. Okay, there we go. And that's what we used to do with the dragon.